I've forgotten them at the rink once or twice, right? Like there are those things, I'm like, use your skills and get home. When your head football coach and choral director are embracing after a national anthem, screams Division III, but it also screams Concordia College.
Welcome to the Athletes in Sports podcast. Today's guest, we have Rachel Bergeson from Concordia College Moorhead, the athletic director. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Andrew. This will be fun.
I'm so excited just to catch up, to hear what's going on here on campus and all the things Concordia and all the things athletics.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right, well, let's get into it. I think there's no better time to start than the present, right here, right now. This is where we're at. Tell me a little bit about what's going on the Concordia campus, both today and in the weeks to come.
There's a lot going on our campus. It's a busy time of year. We're wrapping up our academic year in the next 3 weeks, but in general, it's been a super fun year for Cobber Athletics. We've had a lot of exciting things. We just ended a winter of an Elite 8 team in women's basketball, and we had 2 coaches of the year, and then a MIAC championship for our women's indoor track team. And so it's been a super fun year, a lot to celebrate. And yeah, a lot going on. We are also heading into a pretty big facilities campaign. We have an athletics master plan that we're working hard at and getting some things accomplished. So we don't lack for any busy schedules. There's no downtime, but that's not why we chose college athletics.
No, I love it. As a Cobber alum, graduate of 2016, and just to see where the campus and the athletics has come from then to now, and then to see where it's going, it's super exciting times.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it is fun to hear from alums when they start to see the progress, because then, when you're living in it, you can kind of wonder, are we moving fast enough? Like, how can we get some more things done? And when you hear from the outside that they're super excited about where Cobber Athletics is headed, that is really heartwarming.
Awesome. And we're sitting in the brand new golf performance lab here at Concordia. When I was here, it's kind of tucked back in the corner with just one little simulator. Mm-hmm. So a beautiful upgrade here for the golf. But talk a little bit more about the other athletic facilities and what Cobbers can look forward to.
Yeah, so right now, which is why we're in this space, which is great to kind of promote one of our newer facilities. And what I'm excited about for our golf teams is it's a sport that doesn't always have a locker room. And so there was no place for them to just gather. Obviously, we don't have a golf course on our campus. And so how can our golf teams just be together? And so you see our men's and women's golfers in here all day long, and they might just be doing homework or eating lunch or practicing a few things or using the putting green. And that is super fun to see. And I want to be able to provide that for all of our teams. And so right now, you can see our main gym is blocked off, and it's currently under renovation. Memorial Auditorium was built many years ago. In fact, the permanent seats that are in that space were put in 1952. And that's how good they are, is they're still there. But it is time to do some upgrades. And so for someone that has grown up on this campus, such as myself, I did want to preserve some of the history and tradition of Memorial Auditorium. And we did win a national championship in that very gym. But we also need to modernize that space for the 18-year-old that's looking to come to college, and what does that generation want to see in their facilities? And so I think we found a good balance. So we are under construction. They are going to reopen the space for graduation, and then they'll finish the rest this summer. But you'll see 2 brand new wood courts in that space, some upgraded seating on the permanent seating side. We've gotten rid of all the static scoreboards, and it will be 2 big video boards on the ends. And so we're really excited about that project, because that will be done and ready to rock for next fall. And then it feels like kind of every year we have a project coming up. We need to do some turf projects on our outdoor facilities. And then one of the big ticket items is our weight room. That is a big one that will impact all of our students, but it's going to be really exciting to do that project, and I will sleep better at night when all of these things are done.
I love it. Well, as a former employee of the weight room, and it's kind of the dungeon down there, but it's exciting to see where the campus is going and all things to come for Concordia. So I'm just thinking of myself growing up and picking Concordia and like why Concordia and why like Division III athletics is so special. So I just kind of want to dig a little bit deeper on every kid, every athlete grows up and they want to be Division I and they want to be a pro athlete, but the tiny small percentage that get the chance to play college athletics. Talk to me a little bit about like why Concordia and like what's so special about Division III for you?
Yeah, well, I'll maybe start with the Division III part because I'm kind of a Division III lifer. I grew up here. I did play here myself, and now I've made a career out of it. And coached, yeah, and now in administration. And there's a reason why I've stayed, and a lot of it has to do with the Division III model and the Division III philosophy. We have the ability to work with our student athletes in so many different capacities, not just as a one-sport athlete. In fact, if you look across our sport offerings, most of our successful sports have a number of two-sport athletes on them. But we also have some that are musicians. One of my favorite stories was from this fall, our first home football game, or maybe it was homecoming, we had the 200-plus person choir from Concordia sing the national anthem on the field. And it was the moment that we had 4 football players in their uniform leave the sideline to join the choir because they're also in the choir.
Let's go.
And they sang the national anthem before their game. And then the really cool thing was after that national anthem, and it was so good, our head coach and our choral director gave each other the biggest hug. And I thought, where else does this happen? And so we have this campus that I think everybody talks about the family atmosphere, but it's really how does the institution live out that family atmosphere? And when your head football coach and choral director are embracing after a national anthem before a big football game, I mean, it screams Division III, but it also screams Concordia College and who we are. And it's those kinds of moments where you realize you're in the right place. And for some of the work that I get to do, while yes, I get to make sure that our teams are competing and providing that experience, some of my favorite memories are when a student sat in my office and we got to graduation, right? We helped them get to graduation. We helped them find a major. We helped them do all of these things. And so that one-on-one time, people don't always get with an athletic director or even with a coach in many cases. And that is the beauty of Division III is these student athletes, they get to do so many things, but they also get to form some really close relationships all across campus.
100%. I'd love to just echo that as a hockey and baseball player here at Concordia, and all of like the resources that Division III has to offer. I never thought as I was just a hockey player or I was just a baseball player. Like I was a cobber, and there's just so many things that Concordia provided, both from sports and the teammates, but then also the faculty on campus. Like they just get to know the students on a whole different level. And I think that's where the In Sports Foundation, this is where the dream and the idea came from, is on campus, because our coaches and our professors allowed us to dream. And who would have thought starting a nonprofit in 2016 in the dorm room here in Hallett Hall, 10 plus years later and impacting thousands of lives? Like, it's just such a dream for me. So thank you for providing that opportunity. It's just a very special place for me to come back to.
Well, it's special to have you back here, and I do think about that because I remember when this dream initially kind of came out, and so it is fun to be back and to see you living out that dream. But also, not a lot of places do you get to have the athletic director's kid as your bat boy, and here you are. So I just think it's so fun, all the ways that we can connect and be a family, and family can grow up here together. It's a special place.
Yeah, no doubt, 100%. Yeah, just put a little scope on everything that happened today too. So we were out on the football field, Jay Christensen Stadium, and at the 50-yard line doing tug of war with 150 fourth graders from a local elementary school. And it was just so special to watch, from a foundation to turn the clock back, like this is where the dream started, and then full circle to come back and to be able to provide these sporting opportunities and just the physical education opportunity to local youth was so special. So I just want to dive into turning the clock kind of back on your journey and your sports career growing up, and then how you kind of got involved with Concordia and your sports journey continuing through Concordia.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a unique path, and I think about every time I come through these doors every day, I do think about my path into this role. I joke that I was just about born on that very gym floor out there, and that's not super far from the truth. So I came from a Cobber family. My grandpa coached here. My grandma worked in the pastor's office at the time. My mom was in the registrar's office for 44 years. And my dad is on year, I don't know, it's got to be close to 50, where he was the head baseball coach, equipment manager, and now still putzes around on campus and helps with a lot of things. But so I grew up on this campus, and then I ended up coming to college here, and that wasn't just because it made sense. I'd grown up here, but because I'd grown up here, I did get to see some of the inner workings of this place, and I got to see how much people cared. And it made it a natural fit for me to come as a student. Well, then I graduated, and I thought I was going to be a teacher and a coach forever. And about a year after, I was a year into teaching, what I thought at the time was my dream job opened up here. It was an assistant women's basketball position. It had some other duties attached to it. I was lucky enough to get it, and that's how I got my foot into college athletics. The athletic director that hired me pulled me into his office and thought, you have some administrative skills. Have you ever thought about athletic administration? And I had not at all. And I think that's another important piece about a place like Concordia is that, sure, my degree was in education, but as a liberal arts institution, I had so many experiences that could translate over into any working field. And so I found my way into athletics administration, and I'll be really honest, the first time that this job was offered, I didn't take it. It was after an interim of a little bit over a year, and I didn't take it. I used to say that it was because my youngest wasn't in kindergarten yet, and the job description was really heavily fundraising based, and I really thought my strength was with our coaches and students. And now looking back on that moment, I actually think I didn't take it because I lacked the courage. And so if there's anything that I like to tell other women looking to get into leadership positions, is that even if you feel like you don't have the courage to take that leap, you can take that leap, and there is a path to make it work. And so that path that I took to kind of make this job happen has been, it's been a process, but I'm sure glad I took the leap.
Hey everyone, I want to take a quick moment to tell you about the InSports Foundation. At InSports, we're all about helping kids get more involved in sports. We do this through providing free camps, scholarships, and team sponsorships, all to help reduce the cost of sports and getting more kids into the game. Through sports, kids can learn valuable life lessons, stay active, and maintain their mental well-being. To support our mission and help us get more kids into the game, visit our website at insportsfoundation.org to make a donation. Together, we can make a difference.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, as the leader of the athletic department, just huge kudos to you and everything that you've helped build here on campus, and just being comfortable with the uncomfortable. Because as the athletic director, you've seen it all.
Yeah.
And to be able to manage that, it's a tough position.
I always joke that I should write a book. It could be a bestseller with all the things that we've seen as an administrator. And there's something that happens almost daily where you're like, that just was not on my list of things to do today. It is also what makes the job kind of fun because not every day is the same. But I am glad that I was able to watch my dad have a career in athletics and to see how he was able to impact the lives of so many people. And while I'm not still coaching, so I don't have one specific team that I am working with, I get to have my hands in all of our teams. I still get to do a job within college athletics that's in a time of their life that's super transformational. And so you find a lot of reward in that.
Yeah, 100%. I did print off a couple pictures that I wanted to share with you.
Oh, no.
Well, this first one is of the two individuals. You said you were almost born on the gym floor, so I wanted to share that picture. I was scraping through social media. But I
were
wanted you
scraping deep through social media.
I wanted you to just kind of talk to what those two individuals mean to you at Concordia.
This picture is the wedding picture of my mom and dad. And
we'll share it on the screen too for those
great.
listening.
Wow. Yeah. So I really don't think I would be sitting in this position right now without either of them. And I'll start with my dad. I talked a little bit about his career in sport and what I saw that do for people. I also think what's super neat is my dad was a baseball coach and he had 22 built-in sons every year or more, depending on his roster size. And he had 2 daughters. And not one time at our dinner table did it ever sound like a girl or a woman could do this work. In fact, it was just the opposite. And so I had this guy that coached baseball that got to be my dad and instilled a lot of that in me. And my mom was a coach too. My mom is also really good at critiquing umpires. And so I think I got some of my competitive spirit from her as well. And she's just one of my biggest fans. And so I super grateful for the both of them, and I would not be sitting here without them.
Yeah, well, the Bucky Bergau just, left, I'm going to get emotional just talking about him because he just left such an impact on my life. I want to share this story because after Paige and I, my wife went to Concordia and we got married and we were leaving into the recession line. And the first person I saw was Bucky standing there, like just embraced us with like the biggest hug. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing with Bucky is like he's always present. He's always in the now. But yeah, he's just such a special man. And earlier today, I'm out with 150 kids, and I look over and he's scraping the softball field and making sure that it's ready for the game. And it sounds like he's still throwing batting practice.
Yeah, he is. I think he's 76 now, and he's still throwing batting practice to 50 guys every day. It says it's good exercise. So, and I would agree. We can always use some more throwers in the batting cage for batting practice. But
unbelievable.
Yeah, he's had a great career, and it's been really fun to be able to work with him. We joke that we only look at each other cross-eyed every once in a while at work, but it has been pretty special. Yeah.
When I first joined the baseball team was my senior year, and I got out to practice, and I remember it vividly, like seeing him up on the mound before I even ever see him throw. This is in 2016. I'm like, he's not really going to throw batting practice, is he? Like, I thought he was just like kind of the dugout coach, and like, and he was there every single day. And if there was one lesson, that I take from Bucky is just to show up and to be present and to be in the now. So,
yeah. Well, those are the dinner lessons I got too. So I'm glad to hear that.
I love that. Well, I did one other picture I have to share with you, is the Bat Boys for the Concordia Cobbers. Is Tyden and Tate there, Rachel's sons. Yeah. And they were my Bat Boys at Concordia, and they were there every single game in uniform. And just to watch them grow up has been incredible from the distance. But what does that picture remind you of or make you feel?
Well, you got emotional in the first picture, and I'm going to get emotional in the second picture. And In part because when I was debating on taking this job, I had a long conversation with my husband, who I have to give a ton of credit to, and I don't always do that publicly, so let's make note of that. But we had this conversation because at the time, he was teaching and he was coaching 3 seasons out of the year. He was coaching football, spring baseball, and summer Legion baseball. And when this opportunity came up, I remember having a conversation with him kind of behind closed doors so our kids didn't hear it. And he didn't even blink twice, and he said, I will give up a sport. He said, I will, because someone had to raise our kids for half the year, I felt. And he didn't even think twice. And for our kids to see their dad adjust his career so that their mom can advance hers, I thought was such an incredible lesson. But I opened the door, and I think Tyden was about maybe 9 at the time, and there was a letter on the floor, and it said, Dear Mom, you should take the AD job. Love, Tyden. And I have saved that because it was that moment that I realized, okay, they get it. Like, I'm not going to be at every game if I take this job. I won't be able to pick you up from every practice. I've forgotten them at the rink once or twice, right? Like, there are those things. I'm like, use your skills and get home. But so I knew that they had to understand what we were walking into as a family, and they just jumped in, all on board. And they understand the role that I play and the job that I have. But part of that for me meant that my kids were going to need to grow up at work with me. So this isn't just a job, it's a little bit of a lifestyle. And so they get to bat boy, and they spent a lot of years bat boying. And now my youngest, who is just like, has every sweatband on and is the cutest in this picture, is now playing on that very field in a high school game right now at 4:00. I mean, it is just, it's funny how things can come full circle, but I also think of all of the lessons that they have learned, not just in watching their mom have this type of career, but all of these college kids that they have watched. And just last year, I had a baseball player pick up my youngest and took him out for lunch. And those kinds of mentors have been so important in my kids growing up.
So true. Yeah. No, like I said, love to watch them grow up. And let's chat a little bit about Tyden and raising Mr. Hockey, and maybe more importantly, the all hockey hair team. Like, where did that come from? But yeah, obviously Tyden has had an incredible hockey career, and it's still kind of up in the air as to where he's going to go next year, but eventually to Augustana, sounds like. What has it been like raising a boy who is now Mr. Hockey of Minnesota hockey?
Yeah. Boy, I don't know that it really hit me until you just brought it up. It's been kind of a whirlwind since then. I think what's been really special about watching it wasn't necessarily the award of Mr. Hockey, although that kind of is like a culmination of all the things we've watched him do. But Tyden had to pave his own path. We were a basketball family, both my husband and I. I had him in every Jordan outfit you could think of. And I also think that probably made us pretty good hockey parents because we didn't know what to say, and we just kept signing them up for things that they wanted to try. So he's had to do this on his own. And I think that's really important, that they did not need us to kind of push them along. We were certainly there if they needed us, but he had to figure this journey out, and he had to lean on other people in our community to really teach him to be a hockey player. The things that we could try to provide were some of the other things about being an athlete and a leader, and it's really easy to do those things when it's going well. Let's see what you're made of when it's not. Those kinds of things. And so to see him kind of juggle through some big decisions to first come back for his high school year, senior year, but then to also just kind of navigate being a leader and figuring those things out. And I give him a lot of credit. He did not make every top team when he was younger, probably because we didn't sign him up for hockey right away. But how he managed that disappointment early in his hockey journey, I think has done him wonders, because now I can see that any disappointment or adversity just kind of fuels the fire. And so I remember when he didn't make a specific team that he wanted to make as a peewee, and I just looked at him and I said, "What do you want to do?" And he said, "Take me to the rink." And I knew the Cobbers were practicing, and I knew there'd be a little window of ice time when they were done. And so the Cobbers got off the ice, and I just watched him skate up and down, up and down, up and down. And I remember texting my husband, and I'm like, "He'll be fine. He'll be fine."
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been really fun to just watch his growth. I'm super excited for wherever this journey takes him. But I know that he'll at least put forth the work to try to get there.
It's so cool. Yeah. And I know he's obviously a heck of a baseball player too. Talk a little bit more about like not really allowing him to specialize so soon, and making sure that he was trying other sports growing up, and making sure that he was like a well-versed athlete.
Yeah, in fact, when he was starting to look at colleges, one of the things that we needed to figure out first was, what sport are you going to chase? Like, what dream are you chasing? And that was kind of his first big decision, was what sport do I want to chase? Because there was a time where I thought he was going to take the baseball route. And then there was a time I thought he would take the hockey route, and then we just weren't sure, and we were just kind of letting him figure it out. But I think that's the whole point, is he got to figure it out, because we were able to create opportunities for him to keep doing the things that he loved for as long as possible, so that he could make the best choice for himself. And ultimately, he picked the hockey path. And we're certainly excited about it. People joke that, I bet Grandpa isn't super excited about that, as being a baseball coach for so many years. But not one time was there ever disappointment, and he's just so excited for Tyden's journey. But I think that's the whole point, is he got to make that decision, and he got to experience everything possible so that he could make that decision when it was time.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Bucky looked pretty excited on TV 2 years ago when they won the state championship, and then again this year in double overtime. What was that like at the Grand Casino Arena now, watching that game on the edge of your seat?
I think I may have blacked out for part of it, because I'm trying to think about even how that game went. But I feel like it was just how this team was all year. They kind of were a late starter team, third period team, and boy, did they save it for the last possible second to kind of come alive. But I think that is also one of the things about that team, is just that there wasn't ever any quit or give up. And so, between the period break, or even between the first two overtimes, you could sense that they weren't done, and they were gonna try to make something happen, and they did. So
cool.
It was great. Yeah.
Unbelievable for Moorhead. Did you find something beneficial from this Athletes in Sports podcast? Please share this episode with a fellow athlete, coach, or someone who loves sports to help them reach their next level and help kids get in the game. Well, I got one last picture to show, and that is of a batter's box in your backyard of completely ripped up grass. Mm-hmm. And I believe the quote was, "You're not raising grass, you're raising boys."
That is accurate. That was a quote. I think it was a former Twins player that maybe said it first, and my dad has always said it to me. My backyard looks horrible, and the pitcher's mound looks just about as bad. But I laugh when I look at this, because, it's every mom's dream, right? You just want to send your kids outside and watch them play together. But my boys always play together, and there's about 5 years between them. And so that is what's super fun, is to see how close my boys are. And so I'm laughing at this because I actually picked my husband because he was left-handed. And I grew up in this baseball family, so I'm like, I want a left-handed hitter, and I want someone that's going to throw right-handed, because I want him to play up the middle. And I got two. So I married him for the right reason. I got two. And so I'm just laughing at this left-handed batter's box. But the even funnier point of this is my dad came over and saw how bad our left side of the batter's box was, and he turfed it. So now I have a random piece of turf in the left side of the batter's box for our boys to continue to play whatever wiffle ball game they're playing out there. But yeah, that brings up a lot of memories right there.
So cool. What would you have to say as a young parent to raising young kids in the sports world? Do you have any tips or tricks for raising athletes?
I mean, I think we're still figuring it out too, but I think regardless of what activity they choose, it is going to help them. It's going to prepare them. It's going to help them. It'll be a great social experience, but it's also going to teach them a lot of life lessons. So just let them be them.
Yeah, that's incredible advice. And we're not in the youth sports world with our youngest is 5, so we haven't fully dove in the deep end. But I think that's a huge point, is just providing that environment around them and the foundation to allow them to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah, and what better way and place to learn those things than through sport? And so that is the one thing that I think if people can at least try different activities, they're going to learn or take away something from that experience. And it might not have anything to do with the actual sport itself, but just the experience in general, I think has been, well, obviously a really critical component to how our kids have grown up and how they have learned their own life lessons. I joke that everything can get figured out on a wiffle ball field. Everything, every argument, every rule, everything can get figured out on a wiffle ball field.
100%, and let them figure it out.
Let them figure it out.
Yes, because I think parents, that we want to jump in and we want to figure it out. And in today's world, everything is so structured and so rigid, and like kids don't have the opportunity to play. Yeah. And like just let them the joy of the pond and the pond hockey and the wiffle ball in the backyard. Like provide the environment, the safe environment, and then let them figure it out.
Let them go. They learn a lot of negotiating skills on the pond hockey rink or the wiffle ball field.
One of the other special things that is happening here on campus is the Golden Cobs Award tonight. We've got a past award right here. I was extremely blessed to be able to win one of them during my playing days here at Concordia. But talk to me a little bit more about the Golden Cob that 13 individuals will take home tonight.
It's a coveted award, that Golden Cob. You know, it's a completely student-led event, all for our student athletes, modeled after the SB Awards, so they'll all come dressed up tonight, and they'll get to celebrate a really great year of Cobber athletics. So we get to celebrate a lot of achievements, and who doesn't want to go home with like a giant golden corn on the cob? So we do embrace our mascot, and you found this, I think, online when you were our SAC committee found him in Kansas somewhere, and the guy must still be making them, but it is coveted. It is the beautiful Golden Cob. And it is really fun. I know our student athletes do look forward to it. They get to eat together tonight and then have a fun ceremony, and we'll get to watch some cool highlights and just celebrate just a really great year, because there's been a lot of fun things.
Awesome. Well, we're really looking forward to being a part of it, and thank you for allowing InSports to be a part of the Concordia family. And I'm just so grateful for everything that you've allowed us to do. Oh, well, I'm grateful for you and staying connected to Concordia, and for inviting me on this podcast. This was my first podcast, so thank you. Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Athletes in Sports podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more from inspiring athletes, we encourage you to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on all of our social media channels.